So now as the course kind of swerves over into SQL Server Integrated Services and / SQL Data Tools development, let me give you a little overview here about what SSIS development really is and what it entails. First of all, understand SQL Server Integration Services is an absolutely incredible tool. It will take data from anywhere and it will put that data anywhere. Not only that, it will make changes to it along the way. So you can transform this data and do all kind of stuff. When I first saw the DTS, the Data Transformation Services, which was kind of the precursor to integration services back in SQL 2000, I was at a SQL rollout thing that Microsoft was doing, kind of a dog and pony show, you know. And the guy said, this next thing you're going to love, DTS. It will take data from anywhere, put the data anywhere, and make changes to it along the way. And we all kind of snickered and said, that's cute. We've heard these things, you know, before from Microsoft, and yeah, we're sure that's going to do that. 20 minutes later, everybody stood up and applauded. Integration services just added to that, and it's really cool. Now, be aware. Integration services is a major part of this exam. It's going to be practically impossible to implement a data warehouse in SQL Server 2012 and prior without using integration services. Okay, so make sure that you get a lot of hands-on time with integration services before you go take this exam. Understand there's a learning curve. If you're new to this, it's very intimidating when you first go in there, and I'll just tell you and be honest with you, it's even intimidating after you've been in there a few times, because it's one of those tools, if you're not, you know, 24/7 working on at your particular job, data warehousing and moving the data and so forth, there's just so much to SSIS that you forget how to get in there and how to move around and all that. But I'm going to step you through it, not to worry. Now, loading a data warehouse, understand, can be and will become in the real world very complex. Now, in our environment, I'm going to keep it simple for you because I want you to get your head around the concepts of how you can use SIS. But understand that data warehouse loads usually occur during maintenance windows. These things run at night. And so we've got a lot of things that need to happen successfully and move through a process of various stages. And so data warehouses usually load overnight, on weekends, those sorts of things. Now, to make these kinds of complex loads happen, we need packages that go step by step, and then they branch based on certain conditions. And SQL Server Integration Services, SIS, allows the creation of those very packages. Now, those packages are broken down into individual tasks called data tasks or data task flows. And so we'll build the tasks, we can group these things together, and then we can very easily control the order of what task happens when, under what conditions do we do certain tasks, and then that entire package of all those tasks can be saved and called or executed over and over and over at whatever time we'd like to have them run to perform whatever load we'd like to have them perform. Now, understand here, when I use the term SQL Server Integrated Services Development, what do I mean by that? Now, to do development in SSIS, you're going to have to utilize quite a few skills, okay? First of all, you need a thorough understanding of your data source and all your data sources. Where is the data? What format is it in? How do I connect to it? All those sorts of things. You'll need to know that and be very comfortable with it. You're going to need some proficiency in the SSIS or the SQL Data Tools environment. So you just need to get out there and get some hands-on, work through some of the simple examples I'm going to give you here. Take those back, grab hold of your own data, work with that. You're going to need a fair amount of T-SQL skills. You're going to be writing T-SQL in these tasks to reach out there and grab data, to select data from your source information and from your various sources to pull this data into your data warehouse. You're going to need a good understanding of your database, your data warehouse structure. You have to get comfortable with just kind of looking at diagrams and charts and understanding how this is going to affect data flows. You're probably going to need some .NET scripting skills. You can write these. Scripting is really a bad word, but it's what they call it. You can write these scripts in Visual Basic .NET or in C#. The bottom line is sometimes you're just going to have to hack out some code to make particular magic that you need happen. And then some other things like XML, FTP, it just kind of goes on and on and on. Anywhere we could get data from and then have to scrub that data or transform it. So there's going to be a lot come into play here. Don't let it intimidate you. Take it step by step. I've never seen anybody that has all these skills very neatly wrapped up. Everybody's strong in some things, weak in others. When I talk about SSIS development and then we open that thing up and start working, you're going to start to think, wow, wait a minute, there's a lot to this. And the answer is yes, there is. But I'm going to point you through the things that Microsoft's listing in the objectives. We're going to hit almost all of them and help you get comfortable with these things for the exam.